Hi, I'm Ryan Richard.
And I'm Whitney McDuffie. We are here with Steve Huffman of the Mobile Fire Department Training Center.
And we have a few questions for him today. What do you do here at the Mobile Fire Department Training Center?
Well, actually, my office is just located here at the Training Academy. I'm the spokesperson for the Mobile Fire Rescue Department. I handle all media requests. I go do public speaking. I'm also the photographer, and there's a lot of other little duties that I do in the background as well.
Do you remember where you were when 9/11 took place?
Yes, I was actually in my office back when it was at Central Fire Station downtown. The initial plane that crashed into it, somebody had the TV on watching the news and said, hey, a plane just crashed in one of the Twin Towers in New York. And of course we all gathered around the television to see what was going on. Initially we all thought, just like most people, that it was an accident, that the plane crashed accidentally for whatever reason. And then while we're watching all this taking place and unfolding live, the second plane crashed, and we realized then that this is not an accident, this is something much more than that.
What was your initial reaction whenever you heard about all of what was going on?
Well, obviously we were a little confused by it because this is something that's never happened to us here in the United States. Of course, we initially went into lockdown mode because we didn't know if this was going to be widespread, whether it was isolated just to New York. Of course, we did find out later on that it was not isolated just to New York because the Pentagon was struck as well as in Pennsylvania. So we initially went out to the Mobile County Emergency Management Agency and set up out there, which is where we operate whenever there's a mass emergency in the county.
When does the Mobile Fire Department do to show commemorates to 9/11?
Well, every year we have a little service out at Station 22 at Regency on Airport Boulevard near University. We have a memorial out there set up for all the fallen firefighters from Mobile Fire Rescue. And then we do a little service every September 11th, and it usually starts around 8:52, which is when the first plane struck the tower.
Thank you for this interview.
Thank you. Would y'all like to take a tour of the site?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're back with Steve Huffman. Steve, what's the big building behind us?
This is probably the most prominent prop that we have on our training facility. This is our 4-story training tower. We can build fires in it, put smoke in it. They rappel off the top of it. There's a sprinkler system inside. There's a standpipe system, which is internal pipes that we can connect from the outside and flow water through it and basically drown out the whole building. They can also hook up fire hose inside and simulate fighting fires. We've got furniture in there. We've got obstacles of all types where they have to search for a baby that's hidden in the building. So it's a multi-purpose type building. And this is very prominent on the fire ground out here.
That's cool. So how do you light it to train people?
There in the bottom of what we call the basement is a tray, a large tray. And we put wood and pine straw and stuff like that in there and let it build up a good fire and smoke it up and heat it up. This is as close to a real fire as the firefighters in training will get. Eventually what will happen through their training is we'll get an actual house, we'll set it on fire, and they'll get to go in there and practice putting it out. But until that time, this is kind of a step forward to that. When you initially take them in here, we put theatrical smoke in it, so there's no heat, it's just pretend smoke. As they go through their training, then we'll put real fire in there and heat it up just like they would in a real house. It can get up to 800,000 degrees inside. That's
cool. So how would you put it out once it's lit?
Well, that's what it's all about, is putting the fire out. And they've got fire hose and plenty of water out here, and
that's cool.
And they put it out.
So you said something earlier about rappelling. So they rappel from that?
They rappel from the top of the building up there. We have a technical rescue team that does all confined space and high angle rescues, and then they come down here and practice. Also, every recruit that goes through here will learn to rappel before they leave.
That's cool. So would they rappel with it on fire too?
No, we don't typically do both at the same time. We will put some theatrical smoke in there, but typically we won't put the real fire in there whenever they're practicing rappelling.
This has been Ryan Richard with Steve Huffman, and next up is Whitney McDuffie to check out a cool airplane they used to train on.
And I'm back with Steve Huffman talking about this airplane that they use for training. How many airports are in Mobile, and what is the benefit of having an airplane at this training center?
We have 2 airports here in the city of Mobile. One is the regional airport where most people travel in and out of, and then we have Brookley Field downtown where most commercial flights and small planes go in and out of. And it's also the site where Airbus is building their plant where they'll be building airplanes, and they'll be taking off from there as well.
How do they use this airplane to train?
Well, we can actually use it a number of ways. For us, we use it for rescue, simulating that there's a fire on board. It may be filled with smoke. Also, we use it for firefighting purposes because usually with an airplane incident, there's going to be a fire involved in it. Police department and FBI and other law enforcement agencies will use it for terrorist training. They'll go in and they'll have passengers on board. Somebody may have hijacked it, and then they go in and try to rescue those passengers off the plane.
And I'm back again with Mr. Steve Huffman to talk about this. So what is this?
This is all the fire gear that the firefighters have to wear anytime they're entering a hazardous area, such as a fire or hazmat or anything like that. But this is the first line of defense for firefighters to protect them.
That's cool. What is this made of to be fire?
It's actually layers of different materials, but Kevlar, Nomex, things like that. There's vapor barriers in there to keep the heat off of you and keep the moisture, because what happens when moisture heats up, it turns to steam. So you want to keep all that off the firefighters, and this has layers of protection, and that's the reason why it's so heavy, and it's the reason why it's so hot in it.
So with all this equipment, how much does it weigh?
Probably about 75 pounds, including the air pack that they have to wear, which is about 30 to 35 pounds.
Hey, it's Whitney McDuffie here again with Steve Huffman regarding a couple questions about women's training. Do the women and men go through the same training?
They go through the exact training. In fact, they go through the same testing that the men do. It's all the same. We don't differentiate from anybody. We want good quality firefighters. We don't care who they are as long as they can go through the training, and therefore it's the same for everybody. Keep in mind, you're in a fire with 2 or 3 other guys at a time, and if something happens to you, you want them to be able to drag you out to safety. So therefore we want everybody to be trained the same way.
How many women are in the Mobile Fire Department?
We have about 16 or 17 female firefighters on the department. We have one that is a district chief, and we have several that are captains on the department.
Hi, I'm Ryan Richard, and I'm here with Captain Miller and Kyle Watkins and Whitney McDuffie. I have a few questions for them today. So the first one is, how long have y'all been a firefighter?
I've been a firefighter for 4 years.
I've been on for 17.
How do you know how many times, do you know how many times you have been called to Causey in the past year?
In the past year, I believe we made one run to Causey on our shift, but we have 2 other shifts. But I know on our shift we made approximately 1 run.
And then as students, we would like to know, do you have any recommendations for keeping Causey safe from terrorists or intruders?
Be aware of your surroundings. Y'all know best who's supposed to be at y'all's school. If you see somebody that does not belong there, or somebody that looks suspicious, report it to somebody at the school, the teacher, the principal, counselor, or even call 911. Just be aware of your surroundings.
Do you feel Mobile is a safe place to live?
I believe it is a safe place. We have a great fire department and a great police department, and we all work hard to try to make Mobile a safe place for everyone to live in.
And do you do anything to commemorate to 9/11?
We usually have a commemoration ceremony at Station 22 on Airport Boulevard. We have a memorial set up there, and every year we have a ceremony there. A lot of the citizens, they come up to the station and see us on 9/11. We kind of sit around, talk about old times when we were at the station, talk about the people that lost their lives in 9/11, and really think about how thankful we are to have the things that we have.
Thank you for y'all's time.
All right, thank y'all.
At first glance, this may look like an ordinary 4-month-old puppy, but he's actually in training to become a FEMA search and rescue dog.
I'm Ryan Richard again, and I'm here with Captain Miller. So, Captain Miller, what's the most dangerous call you've ever gotten?
Well, the most dangerous call that I've ever been on would probably be, we had a fertilizer fire when I first came on. We shut part of the Highway 90 down. We were there for about 12 to 14 hours, and a lot of chemicals, very dangerous when you start mixing chemicals and burning chemicals. That's probably the most dangerous call I've been on since I've been on the fire department.
What's the weirdest call you've ever gotten?
Oh, I've been on 17 years, we've had a lot of interesting calls. Probably one of the strangest calls I've ever made was someone stuck between the seats at a theater, and we actually had to disassemble the seats to get the patient out.
So how long does it take to get dressed whenever you're going to put out a fire, like in all your gear and stuff?
It generally takes a minute and a half, no more than 2 minutes. We can have all our gear on ready to go in a fire.
So what parts of Mobile do you cover, like this one station?
This station, we have what we call a first in run, and then we work off first available. Our first run area is this area. We run all the way to where Seven Hills Volunteer picks up. We run Dawes Road to 3 Notch. We run Schillinger's to Cottage Hill, and we run east, we run to Cody Road, and then on Schillinger's north, we run to Old Shell and Ziegler.
So everybody has families, so do you have any family members that are on the trucks together?
Families aren't allowed to ride trucks together in case something happens. We don't want, if something terrible was to happen, there was serious injury or death, we wouldn't want both of them on the same truck. So we have a lot of people that have brothers on the fire department. We have father sons on the fire department, but they're not allowed to be on the same truck together.
It makes sense.
Yes.
Thank you, Captain Miller.
We see that this isn't your usual fire engine. What do you use this for?
We use this for parades, special events, and fundraising for cancer awareness.
When will be your next event?
Our next event will be Saturday at the University of South Alabama football game, and we will be selling T-shirts at that time. T-shirts will be short sleeve, will be $10, 2X or $15, and our long sleeves are $20. And all the profits go to fund cancer research, cancer awareness.
No trip to the fire station would be complete without trying on the equipment. Here I am with firefighter Kyle Watkins to see who can put on the suit the fastest. Our trip has finally come to an end, so now we are headed back to Causey to see the Causey teachers remember 9/11.
My name is Melissa Motes. I teach 8th grade world history here at Causey Middle School, and the way that we commemorate 9/11 in my classroom is first by telling the students of the places that were affected by 9/11 that I have traveled to, and where I was when 9/11 happened and my reaction. And we finished things up on 9/11 by looking at the interactive timeline that's included on the 9/11 Memorial website that's available for anyone to access, and that goes through the whole day of the events from 9/11. My students know that I love to travel, and I have been to many places, and I had been to the Pentagon whenever I was about 15 years old, and I went to the top of the World Trade Center whenever I was 16. And those places were amazing to go and visit. The Pentagon, you could walk wherever you wanted to. You just got off the metro station and you walked on over, went into the building. There really wasn't a lot of security checks. I even wandered into an admiral's office at the Pentagon, and they were very nice when I walked in, telling me that I was in the wrong spot. And the World Trade Center, going up to the top of it, was absolutely amazing. Coming from Mobile, when we didn't have any skyscrapers except the Van Etworth building back then, to be basically on top of the world, it was amazing. I mean, it was the most silent place on earth. Up there, the stillness, and to look out at New York City was just absolutely amazing. When 9/11 happened in 2001, I was teaching at Causey Middle School. It was our first year teaching. We were in the old Baker Elementary School building, and we did not have TVs at that time because the hookup had not taken place. And I found out when a teacher next door, Miss Jones, had sent a student to me to come into her room to check out a message that she received from a teacher at Baker. And the message had said, this little IM message said, plane hit Pentagon, 2 planes hit Twin Towers, 4th plane is missing. And she said, is this true? And I said, I have no idea. I said, it sounded like a movie script to me, something like out of Independence Day. And I went into my room. I got onto the computer that had some working internet, because the hub of the whole internet was in my classroom for the school. And I went to CNN, and it was absolutely true. I went to her and I said, it's true. Everything that they sent you is correct. And we just kept up with it all day, looking at the websites, making sure that they were updated, what information was coming through. After 9/11, things with traveling have changed completely. There is a lot of security. I've been back to the Pentagon. Well, in 2002, they would not let you go to the building. They had armed guards standing there turning you away as soon as you got off the train. In 2010, I went back to the Pentagon, and you could not go any place unless you were with a Marine Corps officer who actually led you on a tour. And so there was no stopping. You had to walk the entire time. In New York, the security upgraded tremendously after the attacks, and I visited Ground Zero, and one day I do hope to go and visit the memorial that they have built. So why should we remember and why should we commemorate 9/11 is because the phrase I love to use in my classroom is, those who do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it. And this is an event that should not be forgotten, because over 90 countries were affected by the terrorist attacks on 9/11. And if we do not learn from our past, then the same thing might happen again. So that is why I think that we should commemorate and remember 9/11.
Miss PK's class remembers 9/11.
Hey, this is Miss Lancaster. We hope you enjoyed the show we put together for you today. With the help of Causey's teachers, students, and the Mobile Fire Rescue Department, we were able to put a show together to help commemorate September 11th. We hope you learned a lot from it and hope that the future is bright for everyone. Next up are our anchors Ryan Richard and Whitney McDuffie for a special ending. We hope you enjoy it.
So, Whitney, what was your favorite part of today?
I don't know, it'd probably have to be a tie between the purple fire truck and the airplane.
Mine would be racing that firefighter.